What is your American dream?
The American dream, if anybody works hard enough, they can do anything they want to do, right?
I want to see the American dream afforded to everybody, regardless of their race, sexual orientation, or anything.
I do feel like I have reached it, and it's very close to my personal mission in life, which is to write the stories of my comunidad and to use my voice and any success that I have to help lift up their voices and stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves.
My American dream is that everybody in this country has the same opportunities that I had. I feel very privileged in my life. I benefited so much from the abundance in this country, but I know that many people don't have the same access to these privileges that I do. And so my dream is that every American has the same access that I had.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Happy Hump Day, everybody. It is Wednesday, the middle of the week. It's right at the hump. Monday and Tuesday goes up. Wednesday, we're at the hump. Thursday, Friday, down.
Is that why it's called Hump Day?
That is why it's called Hump Day. It has nothing else to do with anything else.
That makes sense.
Monday, Tuesday, you go up. Wednesday, you reach the hump of the week. And then Thursday, Friday, down. What is in anybody else's mind that they would think anything else other than this is why it's called Hump Day today?
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
I know it makes sense.
But it doesn't really make sense to me because
people
the hump
have dirty minds, yo-yo.
But the hump for me would really be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Aha.
Then just go straight down on
off the cliff.
Right.
Off the cliff on Monday morning. All right, welcome everybody. Let's say hello to the squad. Jessa Crispin, Joel Davis, squad up. How are you? Lisa Bling, Jojo Nelly, squad up. Dion Reed, Dip Fab, Cake Affair, squad up. Marie Maxwell, squad up. Alicia Stone, squad up. How are you? Mildred Matulis, Willie L. Williams, Babita Diarine, squad up. Brad and team, how are you? Chantel May, squad up. And Willie L. Williams, it's saying it's a snowstorm out there. It is. Yo-Yo came in and told us all. I've been inside. I looked out the window, but I didn't realize how bad it was. Yo-Yo was like, it's bad.
Yeah.
Lovey Lima Tango, more happiness on your day. Enjoy. Squad up. And it's Apple Pie. Dion Reed, how are you? And Marge Higgs, Stargirl Mika, popping in.
Hey.
Haven't seen Stargirl. Where have you been, Stargirl?
Stargirl been here.
She has been?
Yeah.
I think she's been missing a few days.
She might have been.
Okay. Jessica Kalimi, Joel, double fisting a seal and stone. Double fisting Anu. Chandra saying hello to everybody. Tia, hi Brad. Squad up. Daryl Winnebot, squad up. Dembasau. And Honore Tavares, squad up. Ja Love. Elizabeth Darby, squad. Good squad up humping day.
Oh.
Humping day. You see, you know where her mind is, right? Amani Chin, squad up. Miguel Walters, good day. And Amari Tavares, Brad, VAWA, talk please. It's really not a question, Amari, but if you have a specific question about VAWA, I'm happy to answer it. And Anna Gay Big, square up. What does that mean, square up?
I don't know, but in the hood, that means square up. Put those fists up.
She wants to fight me? Anna Gay Biggs wants to fight Uncle Brad or Yo-Yo?
Not me.
She
I'm Dr. Love.
She wants to square up with somebody.
Dr. Love.
Or maybe it's a he. I think Anna Gay would be a woman. She wants to square up with somebody.
Maybe square up with immigration. Immigration issues.
Now.
Immigration issues. Square up with it.
I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of women out there that would beat the hell out of me.
Yes.
There's a lot of strong women who work out at the gym. You know, I box sometimes, and my trainer's a boxer. Mm-hmm. She would beat the crap out of me.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it would be like 2 hits. You know, she hitting me hitting the ground. May Watt, squad up. Has a question, May Watt. My relative Yeah, I don't want to square up with Anna Gay Biggs. And her name is Biggs, so you know she's strong, right? I don't want to square up with anybody, actually.
Yeah.
May
don't want
Watt.
that.
My relative is required to take along the DS-260 form to the interview or the medical. Roughly what information does that form entail? Thanks for your generosity. Good show. Very informative. Your relative should bring original documents of everything that was submitted to the National Visa Center, an entire application. So whatever you submitted to the National Visa Center, you should bring to the interview the original documents, copies of the DS forms that you submitted. Don't rely on the fact that they would have everything in their file. Have a complete application of what you already submitted, copies and originals of everything, as well as the medical form. What's in the medical? You go to a medical exam a few days before the interview, and the doctor makes sure you don't have any communicable diseases and you don't have any drugs in your system. And he asks, or she asks, the doctor, could be a woman or a man, asks, do you do drugs? And if you say, some doctors, depending on what country, yeah, I smoke weed every so often, drug addict.
Ooh.
All right, so they asked that question. Be careful on that one. All right, Yo-Yo, take it away.
Absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. I need you guys all to throw in your questions into the comment section right now so we can get them all for social media check-in, because if you throw them in now, it's more than likely that we'll be able to answer them. And also, please start sharing this on all social media platforms, because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines, including Vice President Kamala Harris's trip to Europe today, where she's going to meet with NATO leaders and Ukrainian refugees who now number over 1.7 million, fleeing the Russian invasion of the country. And like Brad said earlier, today is Hump Day, so we're going to be celebrating the middle of the week with some provocative stories, like a new petition for the development of a spaceship that celebrates the female anatomy. And what better to celebrate that on Women's
Day.
On Hump Day, and I was really gonna say Women's History Month.
I thought you were gonna say on Hump Day, because I know where your mind is too.
Women's History Month.
Yeah, okay.
I know where your mind is.
And of course, you can call Spar Bernstein 1-800-529-5465. You can also call 1-800-529-5465 to get on our show. It's the same telephone number. International +1 212-227-8933. Hint, we have a few lines open right now, but generally by the middle of schmooze, we're all locked and loaded. So if you do have your immigration questions, now's the time to call 1-800-529-5465. International +1 212-227-8933. As I say in every show, there's always somebody in the middle of the show who says, hey, how do I reach you, Brad? The number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen for the entire show. I asked the squad, if anybody asks that question, please jump in for me and just tell them the number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. They can read the number there.
They usually do that.
2 hours. And later in the show, I'm going to speak with Jessa Crispin and Nicolas Rodriguez, who met on Tinder. And married 2 weeks later.
Whoa.
But this was not the Tinder swindler.
Right, because,
I don't know. So they met, and 2 weeks later, I don't think this was I don't think Nicholas is the Tinder swindler. They met 2 weeks later, they got married, and Jessa's now filing for Nicholas for his green card.
Okay.
So 2 week, a romance on Tinder.
Oh, I remember this.
Yes, on Tinder, and then boom.
Yeah, well, it happens.
It happens. Yeah, all right, you ready to schmooze?
Let's do it.
All right, so the war is ongoing, Jonathan. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I can tell you who's going to be the winner and the loser. My opinion right now.
Okay, what is it?
The loser will be Russia.
As in, when you say loser?
Loser meaning that at some point it's either they're going to lose small or they're going to lose big. And I'm not talking about the battle. I'm talking about
the bigger picture.
The bigger picture.
Okay.
Because there is no way in the world, as we talked about I've talked about in the last few days, I believe Vladimir Putin did not realize the amount of fighting force that Ukraine has given the Russian military. They still have not seized any city yet.
Sheesh.
After 2 weeks of fighting. This is supposed to be the #2 military in the world behind the United States.
Wow.
Ukraine, I think, was ranked 22 or 23.
Oh, wow.
So, and the Russian military outnumbers the Ukrainians, I think, 3-1 at this point.
But that's also because they're not really putting their big dogs out
Well,
yet,
I think
right?
also, the Ukrainians are fighting for their land, their wives, their spouses, their children, their jobs,
It
their
means a lot
livelihood.
more.
It means a lot more to them.
Yeah.
So, Putin was not. Putin thought he was going to take over Ukraine by now.
Yeah, you could tell.
Right. Number two.
Look at that face. Unbothered.
You know what? Between him and the pumpkin, it's amazing.
It's wild.
Yeah, right? These are our leaders.
Right.
Number two, Putin did not realize the amount of sanctions that were going to be pushed up against Russia, and we'll talk about that in a second. He also didn't realize cancel culture. Everybody's canceling Russia.
Because my thing is...
So ultimately, he's either going to lose small or big.
Right.
But ultimately, they're going to lose. Because
Right.
in the end, they can't, the Ukrainians don't want them there. And you can't rule over a country of 44 million people. Do you know how many people in the military you would need to rule
Right.
over a country of 44 million people who don't want you there?
So
who
could
you
you-
just bombed the hell out of all their cities?
Right. Could you see him actually like taking back taking everything back and being like, okay.
No, well, that's the problem. In the history, Russian history, I'm not that I'm an expert in Russian history, but I'll tell you what I do know. Okay? What I do know is that after World War I, the Tsar of, I guess it was the Russian Tsars, I guess. I think his name was, I don't want to say, I forgot his name. It could have been Nicholas or whoever the last Russian Tsar was. After World War I, the communists threw him out because Russia did not do very well in the war. Okay, so every time Russia doesn't do well, Nicholas II, thank you. Every time Russia doesn't do well, their lead in a war, new leadership. Okay, World War I, no more Tsar, Nicholas gone. It's now the communists. Okay, then World War II, Stalin won. You got to stay in power. During the 60s, the Cuban Missile Crisis, Brezhnev, who was in charge of Russia, pulled the missiles out of Cuba. 2 years later, he's out of power because he backed down to the United States. Gorbachev invaded Afghanistan for 17 years. They lost the war in Afghanistan. They pulled out. Guess what happened? Gorbachev started perestroika, and as a result of all of that, he lost power. So every time there's a war, and just historically, the head of whoever's running Russia, if they lose, ends up historically not being in power.
Okay.
So Putin can't afford. He's going to keep doubling and tripling down. But so it's just a matter of, do you lose small or do you lose big? That seems to be the problem, and that seems to be the quandary that everybody's in. Is like, how do you get out of all of this now?
And I don't see all the companies and the people that have pulled out of Russia. I don't see them going back if they actually do conquer Ukraine. You're never going to have that.
He didn't expect NATO to be as united. He didn't expect the Ukrainians to fight like they are. He didn't expect the economic sanctions. And he was not expecting cancel culture.
Yikes. That.
So
at this point, is it worth it?
And then when he does, if he does take over Ukraine, which all the military experts said they should have done it already, but eventually they'll take over Ukraine, if you believe all the military experts. How are they going to rule over this country that doesn't want them there?
Right.
I don't think they've thought it through. So Poland wants to give their MiG fighters, we talked about that yesterday, to Ukraine, because the Ukrainian pilots know how to fly MiGs, because they're all former Soviet airplanes, fighter planes. Poland already offered the MiGs. The United States turned them down. Not because the United States doesn't want to help the Ukraine, but it's a practical matter. The United States does not want to get into a war with Russia because the United States never wants to have a nuclear war with Russia. Nobody wins.
Right.
Okay? You know what happens when you have a nuclear war? Everybody loses.
Yeah.
Okay? There's no winner in a nuclear war.
Right.
So the United States does not want to antagonize Russia. And by the way, you want to know why? I just thought of this, by the way. You want to know why I think Putin was already losing?
Why?
Because he's threatening nuclear war.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no winners in nuclear war. So nobody wins in nuclear war. We're all dead.
Yes.
Okay, so why would you threaten that unless your back is against the wall?
Right.
Be that as it may. Be that as it may, the United States doesn't want to antagonize Russia to pull in NATO. So how do you in theory, in reality, get an airplane from Poland to the Ukraine without Russia saying, wait a second, you're flying planes from Poland to Ukraine, we're going to bomb your airfields. We don't want you to give planes to Poland. It's the same thing why we're not patrolling the skies right now.
Right.
Because we don't want Russia to bomb any airfields in NATO countries, because now, guess what? The United States is at war with Russia.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that I could think of, I have no idea, okay, is take the plane apart, ship it secretly across the border, put it together secretly across the border, and then start flying it. I don't know how else to do it. So I don't know if that's what they're thinking, but that's how I would do it. And just send a mechanic with a truck to a screwdriver, put the planes together back when you get across the border. But Kamala Harris went to Poland today to figure it out, because the one thing NATO doesn't want is nothing from NATO territory is helping the war effort against Russia, because then all of a sudden now NATO is involved. So we'll see how Kamala Harris deals with all of this. She's in Poland right now. Vladimir, I'm calling him Vladimir. Volodymyr Zelensky, he is the president of the Ukraine. He has pleaded for aircrafts. He's pleaded for NATO cover. But I'm going to tell you something. He's getting more confident in the Ukrainian military, because in the first couple of days of the war, everyone thought he was a dead man walking. And in the last few days, he even taunted Vladimir Putin, and in some of his Facebook videos says, here's a geo-tracker of exactly where I am making this video right now. You can't get me anywhere.
Sheesh.
So he's actually taunting.
Right, that's bold.
Yeah. After Kamala Harris goes to Poland, she's going to go to Warsaw to meet with some of the refugees. All of the refugees, almost all of them, are women and children, because the men stayed back to fight. So you have 2 million plus women and children in Poland, Romania, Moldova. There were pictures on the news. Thousands of Germans gathered. Some are going to Germany, in Berlin, to bring money, food, strollers. They were leaving strollers at train stations for women who had to, because you left with the clothes on your back and a baby in your arms, and then everybody drove to the border, and there was a backup at the border of 10, 15, 20 miles of cars trying to cross the border. People were getting out of their cars, carrying their babies to the border, crossing over with nothing. Yeah. So, there's Germans assisting the refugees with money, food. There was pictures of people showing up at the train station saying, come live with me in my home. There was volunteers were dispersed at various train stations, giving food, hot drinks, diapers, coats. People had nothing. A 20-year-old woman named April, a native of Ukraine who had lived in Germany for a year, told the news outlet that although she couldn't help her family flee, she's doing all she can to help those in need. Martina Wardikis and Timo Koleri, a couple in Berlin, also opened up their home to Ukrainian refugees. They said, we don't know what it's like to live in a war. It's shocking. Our first thought was we need to help a family so that they can feel safe, not be on the street. We will give them some peace in this house. So that's what's going on. In Poland, by the way, there's a viral photo going around showing that people left their used, or maybe they even went and bought strollers at the train station, so that when the train showed up with the refugees and women got out of the train, there were strollers waiting for them. Here it is right here, waiting for them when the trains arrived. It's a crime if a man tries to leave the Ukraine and between the ages of 18 and 60 and tries to escape or not be, they're going to arrest that man.
Jeez.
So all men 18 to 60, they need to fight. And that's what's going on there. And you're talking about, all these companies were pulling out.
Right.
I'm talking about cancel culture. Putin never even thought. This is all, by the way, no government told these companies, no government told people on TikTok to cancel Russia.
Right. And I can't really see the people of Russia actually forgiving Putin for putting them in that, because they're going to be suffering.
But you have to understand that Putin controls the media in Russia. So unless you have a VPN and
they don't know that they're getting culture.
Culture. You have a
culture?
VPN, you can go see Western news. But
Sure,
for the
word of
most part, you have people in Russia have seen the same news day after day after day. The majority of Russians believe that Russia is going into Ukraine to save a Russian minority that is being killed and slaughtered by the Ukrainians who are run by Nazis, and that this is a peace mission. That's what they believe. Or many of them.
I don't see when you get a full list of retailers and products that pull out of your country. I don't see how you can, unless you're just naive and you're purposely trying to not see stuff, just look in a tunnel. But if you see all these people, all these products that are pulling out, how can you think that this is the right thing to do?
I have a friend in Russia who doesn't know what's going on. I just thought I felt I needed to do this. I sent this person, I paid $4 a month for a subscription to the New York Times. I said, just read the New York Times, see what's going on. And that person has a VPN. I said, read the New York Times, it's $4 a month, see what's going on, tell your friends. Because what you're seeing in Russia is not, I really did it. And I'm like, I paid for the yearly subscription. It was $48. I'm like, just read it.
Right. And your friend was like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, Coca-Cola's pulled out of Russia. Starbucks, McDonald's, L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, Dove soap, Levi's jeans.
Oh, wow.
Russian Vogue no longer exists. Zara, L'Oreal, Heineken, Pepsi, IKEA, H&M, Nike, Burberry, all gone. Universal Music Group, who just recently acquired Neil Diamond's. I don't think people in Russia listen to Neil Diamond, but who knows? Live Nation is no longer going to promote tours in Russia.
Oh.
Spotify and Netflix have suspended their services in Russia. Sony, Warner Brothers, and Disney say they will not send any movies to Russia. Eric Clapton has canceled his concert in Russia, as well as Bjork. They pulled out of dates in Russia.
That is wild.
Conductor and Putin ally Valery Gergiev, she was dropped from the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra, and later he had lost his position with the Munich Philharmonic Orchestra as well. Anna Netrebko had to withdraw her appearance at the New York's Met Opera after failing to repudiate Putin, but you can't blame her because she has to go back to Russia.
She has to go back.
So if she repudiates, she get FIFA, Russia can't participate. UEFA, I don't know what that is because I'm not a soccer fan, but it's suspended from all European competitions overseen by UEFA. Formula One, all Formula One Grand Prix in Russia have been canceled. The International Tennis Federation is not allowing Russian players to participate in competition. The Winter Paralympics have banned Russians. The World Athletics Series has banned Russians. The International Chess Federation has banned Russians. Vladimir Putin has lost his black belt from the Judo Federation.
I don't think he really cares about that, you know, if his whole country is going through a lot worse.
So,
I just don't see how.
So it's just
how are they gonna live?
Either you lose small now, or he's going to lose much bigger in the end. If he loses a lot bigger in the end, it's going to be a lot of suffering. It's going to be suffering not only for the Russians because of the sanctions. It's going to be suffering for the Ukrainians who have to live through a war.
Right.
It's going to be suffering for me and you and everyone else because of the sanctions that the West is putting on Russia in gas prices, inflation, loss of jobs, because even all those companies that pull out of Russia, there are people in other parts of the world that work with those companies in Russia.
Right.
So, for example, McDonald's ships, you know, I don't know, a carton to Russia, okay, with the McDonald's thing on it. Mm-hmm. Or L'Oreal has to ship makeup. Those are all. McDonald's is going to lose 10% of their revenue.
Yeah, but I very much so respect them for, you know, doing that.
People who own stocks in McDonald's are going to lose money.
Yeah.
They're going to have less money to spend in stores. I mean, so all of this affects everybody because Putin decided to invade Russia, invade Ukraine. One man. That's the key part. One man did all of this.
It's not worth it.
Did all of this on a lie that the Ukrainians were slaughtering Russians in Ukraine. On a lie. Because he had some fantasy of bringing back the Soviet Union. Meanwhile, here in the United States, good news for people who don't get their mail.
Why?
Like Spar and Bernstein, takes like a week to get our mail now. I can't stand the United States Postal Service because it's so slow.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. Good news for people who can't get their mail, like here, us lawyers here at Spar and Bernstein, we're frustrated waiting for mail. A bipartisan bill, 79-19, finally, the U.S. Postal Service, after years of neglect, has been given $50 billion to finally come up to speed and get our mail delivered.
Thank God.
Yeah, ahead of the vote, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer touted that once the legislation passes, postal reform will finally be signed, sealed, and delivered. And I'm saying delivered in quotes to the American people. He said, we all know that when the post office is forced to cut hours of operation, delivery routes, lay off workers, we all know what happens. Yeah, we don't get our freaking mail.
Right.
So maybe now that they're funded, if a letter goes out in the mail, we'll get it in our regular 2 to 3 business days like we're supposed to, not 10 days later.
Right. I'm here for that.
I'm up for that too. And today a jury in Washington, D.C., I'm sorry, not today, this was yesterday, found the first January 6th rioter, Guy Reftiff, guilty on all 5 charges. Redneck? What's his name? Refit. Excuse me, not Redneck. Guy Refit, guilty of all 5 charges related to the assault on the U.S. Capitol, and he now faces 20 years in jail. He purposely went to trial. He is one of the 3%ers or 1%ers, a very extreme. Is it 1% or 3%ers, this group, Joe? Whatever the 3%ers, whatever the group's name is. And they're like, you know, you want to call them Ku Klux Klan, you want to call them not. They're all the same.
Right.
You know, white ring, you know, ultra-nationalist, supremacist, you know, racist, anti-Semitic.
All the same.
It's all the same. It doesn't matter. They have a sheet over their head. They got a Nazi symbol. They're a 3%er or 1%er, whatever their name. They're all the same.
Yep, I agree.
So he's going to go to prison for 20 years. And my pillow guy, who is insane, Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy. He says there's a very big lawsuit coming out next week. He's going to sue all the machines.
Oh.
All right. He was the #1 guy on TV who was basically Trump's supporter, saying that the election was rigged.
Oh,
and he sells pillows on Fox News and made $100 million, whatever it is, selling pillows. So they call him the My Pillow guy.
Oh, goodness.
And then he went to, be Trump's mouthpiece, saying that the election was rigged.
Right.
So he just had a speech. The only reason we're talking about it because it's so ridiculous.
Yes.
He says, "I'm going to go sue the machines." Enjoy your lawsuit against the machines. We'll see what happens. He said, biggest lawsuit coming next week against the machines. I don't know. Jill just asked, what machine would I sue if I could?
What machine?
Well, I would tell you the machine I would sue if I could.
What machine?
I had to sue a machine years and years ago, but probably the statute of limitations is done now. I was at the gym, and this was before they had a bar at the gym, and it was very fancy. They had like a vending machine.
Okay.
And I just got off the treadmill, and I was freaking dying. And I had 75 cents. That's when it was like 75 cents for a water.
Uh-huh.
And I put the 75 cents in, and the water got stuck in the thing. And I'm banging it for 10 minutes.
That's a good reason to sue.
And then the manager of the gym was yelling at me. He said, "If you keep banging it, I'm going to throw you out." I go, "But I want my water."
Right.
I want to sue the manager.
And the machine.
And the machine. That's a machine I would have sued.
Yeah.
Need my water there.
Yeah.
That's
Would a
true story.
computer be called a machine?
Anything would be called a
Yeah,
machine.
so there was one time where I lost everything out of nowhere because it just did not want to turn back on.
What?
My laptop, my computer, had just turned off out of nowhere, and nothing was wrong with it, but never was able to retrieve anything. So I would sue that.
Eliza just whispered in my ear she wants to sue our photocopy machine outside.
Oh.
All right, so we're gonna ask Michael Lindell to make all those lawsuits
Right.
as well.
Throw that in there too.
All right, let's get to some Hump Day news.
Yes.
We got some Hump
goodness.
Day. What do we got? We have some camels.
Hump Day.
Now, as we said, Yada-thin,
Uh-huh.
Hump Day just means it's the middle of the week.
It's
Right.
Hump
Now, some of
Day.
you may think this news is a little randy. It's only because you have dirty minds.
Okay.
But this is just news that we picked because it's the middle of the week.
Okay.
All right? If you have dirty minds, you got dirty minds. But this is just news because it's Wednesday.
Right.
The first news on Wednesday news on Hump Day, just Wednesday news.
That's it.
That's it. Don't get excited. A British man has gone viral because he was flashing his genitalia in a seemingly, what does NSFW mean? Not suitable for work video. Charlie James, let me see what he was flashing. What is he flashing there?
Do you see it?
Oh my God! Why is his genitalia orange?
Trump.
What is it orange? Now, apparently that is not his genitalia.
It's not.
But it was some tool he was working in construction.
It's his belt.
Maybe his screwdriver.
No, it's his belt.
His belt. And now he's dancing with his genitalia out.
I can't. Look at the reactions are hilarious. So I first saw this as well. I saw this last week.
I just had to look. Can we see his tool belt again, please? I gotta look at this tool belt again. What kind of tool is that?
The thing is, he knew what he was doing.
You think so?
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. I think so. Because when I first saw it, I was like, wait, what? TikTok? But yes. I thought he was going to start dancing
That's
to
what
it.
I thought too. All right. And in Germany, there he is last time. In Germany, Yo-Yo, there's a feminist group. Again, just Wednesday news. I don't know why everyone needs to get excited for Hump Day.
Okay.
Just Wednesday news. A German feminist group, Wehrberaut Feminismus, which translates basically to Who Needs Feminism, has created a Volvo-shaped spaceship. They want to build this
Vulva. A vulva.
Volva.
Yes.
Why does it have an L at the end?
It doesn't have an L at the
But
end.
that's what it has on my card. That's why I couldn't pronounce it right. Volva.
Okay.
Volva distinct spaceship. And apparently they want it to look like a woman's genitalia.
And it does.
Right. And they want to build this spaceship because Jeff Bezos built his Blue Origin spaceship. And Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin spaceship looks like a circumcised genitalia.
Right.
And what they really want to do is they want to reach out to Jeff Bezos once they have built this vulva spaceship to see if they could have some sort of international docking between the big Blue Origin spaceship and the vulva spaceship up in space. They want to dock it. They want to dock the two together.
Okay.
What do you think? That they would dock this spaceship with the vulva spaceship?
Which one would you rather take to space?
How do you think they would dock these two?
I don't know, but I'd rather take the vulva. I'll take the vulva spaceship. That looks pretty cool.
Dr. Lucia Hartman, head of WBF Aeronautics and inventor of the vulva spaceship, adds, the spaceship's shape is surprisingly aerodynamic, creating way less drag than when the vehicle punches through the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's about time we start designing spaceships like a vulva.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't want to be on Jeff Bezos's penis spaceship. Right? Much cooler to be on the vulva one.
Yeah, I want to be on the vulva.
Wouldn't that be great when Blue Origin and the vulva, they dock in space?
Yeah.
It's like a comedy.
Right. Oh, goodness.
How do they dock? How do they put their spaceships together?
I could not tell you.
I can imagine. Human beings have been doing it for, since Adam and Eve. So you can imagine how they would dock the two together. Hump day, yo, but it's just Wednesday.
It's just Wednesday.
Just Wednesday news.
We're trying to get over the hump, y'all.
Yeah, just to get over the hump. This is interesting. I don't know how many ladies out there would allow their boyfriends to do this, but there's a viral video going around that this woman in New York City during lockdown, COVID, taught her boyfriend how to give her a Brazilian wax. And now he can do a full Brazilian wax of his girlfriend in 20 minutes.
It's pretty impressive.
This is in California. No, it is in New York City. She's originally from California. She shared the Amazon link to her extra strength waxing materials by Sally Hansen and offered her fans words of wisdom. The woman's name is Sunny. Yes. And she says, this is the kit we use, and make sure they wax in the right direction. My boyfriend tells me to teach him so I can stop paying for it. It's best when your partner can wax you instead of going to another wax lady. Have you ever waxed anybody?
No.
Would you want to wax?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't like pain, and I don't like...
But you're not in pain.
I understand that, but like me pulling it, I'll be like, and then I probably wouldn't like do it all the way, and then it would actually hurt them.
Did you see the 40-year-old virgin?
Yeah.
Wasn't that hilarious when they were waxing his chest?
He was bleeding after. Like, those are real reactions. No, I'm okay.
I would do it.
I'm sure. Tyrese was like shaving his girlfriend's.
I would do it. Why not?
Private.
I would do it.
Tyrese did it. So, I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, if they needed it done, like, okay, but that's not anything that I really want to.
Now, the likes of Gibson and Sonny's Bow, they're happy to take care of their partner's private pimping, but other guys seem to have some issues like you, Yo-Yo.
Not issues.
Yeah,
it's just
I wouldn't. Like some critics have wrote on the video, honey, hold on to that man, because I'm speaking from a place as a man that does a ton for his fiance and future wife, and I would never And another person said, I'd pay to let her get it done professionally or tell her to rock a full bush.
See, but that's the thing. You see, it was during the pandemic, so
Right.
you know, it makes sense.
All right, and we got to check on our Congolese viewers, our African viewers.
Why?
Apparently, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, although it's illegal, at least according to the news, it is in practice. I don't know how common it is, but common enough that it's a regular practice in the Congo to have multiple wives.
Oh.
And nobody does anything about it. So now there's a man in the Democratic Republic of the Congo who married identical triplets. Now, you heard of a menage a trois, but this man married three identical sisters, triplets. He says, it seems like I was dreaming. The man, identified as Luizo, told Afromax English of the unconventional wedding, which occurred in South Kivu, located in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The marital hat trick was set in motion after the husband-to-be met one of the triplets, Natalie, quickly fell head over heels with her. However, things took a turn after he visited his budding soulmate and she introduced him to her identical twin sisters, Nadege and Natasha, who equally became smitten with their siblings' new squeeze.
That's crazy.
Then they popped the big question, which reportedly surprised Luizo so much he said he almost fainted. It was the women who wanted it, apparently.
Listen, I'm here for that.
One of the unidentified wives was quoted as saying of the lifetime 3-for-1 deal, when we told him he had to marry all of us, he was shocked. But because he had already fallen in love with all of us, nothing could stop our plans since we were in love with him. Willie L. Williams in Capital is saying lucky. Don't wish for that, Willie L. Williams.
Can you imagine how much all that would be?
Willie
just
L. Williams, have you ever been in a marriage with one
with
person?
one?
Okay,
Imagine
if you've ever been in a marriage with what? Take it from me, I'm divorced. Okay, but if you've ever been in a marriage with one person, it's a ton of work. To be in a marriage with 4 people?
And then imagine when they start having kids.
And what about they're identical? You know, you come home, you're like, hey, Natalie, how was your dinner? And the woman's like, I'm not Natalie, I'm Nadege.
That's wild. So
how do you even tell them apart?
So all their kids would be siblings and cousins at the same time.
How do you even tell them apart? And Jill's saying in my ear, triplets are hereditary. Imagine that they all start having triplets.
Oh, man.
That's like a reality
It's
TV
too much.
show.
It's too much. I have a headache just thinking about it.
Yeah. And lastly, Yo-Yo, and quickly, because we got to move on.
Yes.
A new study has found, again, this is just Wednesday news. I don't know why on Wednesday news people get dirty minds. A new study has found that frequent porn viewing by men has a negative effect on their sex lives, but frequent porn viewing by women increases their satisfaction in sex lives.
Oh.
So women, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You show your muscles.
Right.
All right. Women
like
who
that.
watch porn have a higher satisfaction in their sex lives, but men who watch porn have a lower satisfaction in their sex lives, and according to the study, have lower self-esteem, have erectile dysfunction, and an inability to satisfy their lovers.
Yikes.
All right, I got to delete my Pornhub account.
Right. Yikes.
I'm deleting the Pornhub account.
I wonder why.
I don't know why. My guess, I don't know. Do we have a reason why, Jill, here? Is there a reason? Where? What number? Where's the reason? All right. The psychological medicine study surveyed thousands of women and found that the more women watch porn, the more likely she was to experience an increase in self-competence, functioning, and satisfaction. Researchers were unable to conclusively explain the reasons for this, but theorized it was due to the fact that women generally prefer soft-core porn. The study states that porn can also be a source of threatening upward sexual comparisons, particularly for men. For instance, the frequency of porn use predicts penis size dissatisfaction amongst men. So the more a man watches porn,
are they like comparing their personal experiences and stuff? Yeah.
It also, therapists have a dramatic uptick in the number of patients with porn-induced erectile dysfunction, including many men in their 20s and 30s. I don't know why it would be. I guess the only thing I could think of would be that, like if you watch porn, maybe you think, like you watch some crazy stuff, you're like, I don't know, that should be what I should be doing, and I'm not doing it, and therefore it's not as satisfactory. I don't know.
My thing is,
why
if it depresses you, then why watch it?
I don't know.
Then again, who are they doing the survey on? Because that is not my case. Okay.
All right. So that is, as Marge Higgs says, we're going to end it like this. Marge Higgs hits it on the nail. Hits the head on the nail. And again, I meant the head of a hammer on a nail.
Yes.
I didn't mean any other head.
Yes.
She says women win every time.
I agree.
That's right, Marge. And what, Joe? The study published last month, it was in the Psychological Medicine. They surveyed more than 20,000 French-speaking adults.
Oh.
There you go. It's French.
There you go.
People in France.
Yeah, you ain't talking about us over here in the U.S.
In the U.S. of A.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know how to watch porn over here.
Yeah. I knew something was fishy.
Yeah. Woo, hot. Okay,
Right.
so TikTok time. Let's do it. There's no girlfriend green card application. You'd have to go marry her, file an I-130 visa petition. Takes about 2.5 years start to finish. Good luck. No, you can't file for a STEM OPT extension after you filed your adjustment. When you file for an adjustment, you are applying for your permanent residence of the United States. When you apply for an extension of your STEM, you're saying you're here on a temporary basis. So those two applications do not jive. Watch Brad Show live every day, 6 to 8 p.m. with my buddy, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elliott. We are answering your immigration questions every day on YouTube and Facebook. Check us out. It'll probably take at least 4 to 6 months to change from F1 to F2. Make sure you file your application before you fall out of status. No, a 19-year-old U.S. citizen cannot get a derivative citizenship through a parent. They had to have a green card before they were 18, living with that U.S. citizen parent in the United States in their legal and physical custody. So she's a bit too old. Sorry. Overstaying your visa is not a problem if you are marrying a U.S. citizen. You'll be able to adjust your status. Good luck. All right, let's do meat and potatoes. We got your legal questions coming up. Call 1-800-529-5465. Let's do it, Ian. Hi, Simone. It's Brad. How are you?
Hi. Hello, Brad. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
What's going on?
I had called about a few weeks ago about the I-130 processing time for California, and I asked you if I should, because when I checked it on the California for the processing time, it was giving me like it said like a year before my date. So I asked if I should email them or send them a service request. Either one will do. So Mom sent them a service request, so you told me to let you know what their response was.
Yeah.
So they emailed her back and, blah, blah, blah. They said they saw that you did a service request and for the I-130, whatever. So they say we are currently working Form I-130 petitions for classification F31 that were received by USCIS prior to January 3rd, 2010. Cases with these classifications are considered to be out of processing time when they
All right, so this is your mom filing for a married son or daughter?
No, unmarried. So we are in the F1 category.
And we. So when did Mom file for you?
2016,
Okay, so
July.
So let me tell you two things, okay? Number one, for your purposes, although I know you're anxious to get an approval, whether you get an approval today, you get an approval in a year from today, you get an approval in 3 years from today, you're going to get your green card on the same exact day because
Yeah, I
the
know.
priority dates are still in 2008 for F3.
No, I'm in the F1.
Oh, you're in F1.
Yes, but that's why I didn't understand the email that they sent
Okay,
to her.
so why do they think you're in the F3? So then write them back and say...
No, they gave us the full
What
thing
is
of
your
what.
tell me what your
give us
tell me what
number.
your, tell me what your priority date is.
July 18, 2016.
July 18th, 2016.
Yes, and I'm in the California Center.
All right. And right now, they are processing for F1.
2017.
Okay. So what you need to do at this point, because they are past you. Okay?
Yes, that's what I said, but the email they're giving her, all the
right,
details.
so I don't write the emails from immigration, so I'm going to tell you what you need to do now. I would be threatening a mandamus at this point because your priority date is current. They're violating your rights by not adjudicating your case.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a mandamus is?
No, I don't.
Okay. So a mandamus is a federal lawsuit. And you usually, when you think of lawsuits, you think of suing the government for money. In this particular case, you're suing them to do their job, which is adjudicate your application in a timely manner. You have a right to an adjudication before your priority date is current or when your priority date is current, because if they don't adjudicate it at that point, they're basically denying you a green card that you otherwise would be eligible for.
Right.
So a non-adjudication to me, when you're eligible for a green card, is the same as a denial. They're not giving you a benefit that you're entitled to. So at this point, because the priority dates are current, you sent, part of doing the mandamus is making a request to see what's going on. They responded and gave you some mumbo jumbo information that didn't even reply to what you asked them. So at this point, I would threaten a mandamus. You would have a lawyer do that. We can do that for you. You're in Brooklyn. Because, to go to federal court's a big, expensive ordeal. Generally, when you threaten the mandamus, we call it a pre-litigation mandamus. They usually act because they don't want to go to court either.
Yeah, can you see that they passed the processing time, right, Brad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know. My mom was confused because she was like, "What is this saying?" And she voted.
I'll confuse you. It's a huge bureaucracy. They're violating your rights. They should have adjudicated your case.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's go to Tia in Baltimore.
Hello, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Not too bad. So my question is that the year I got married, the year my daughter turned 18, and can my husband still file for her, being that he's the stepfather?
No, the marriage had to occur before her 18th birthday.
Okay, so the second question is: when I file the I-130, do I need to file an I-130A as well for her and her brothers?
Where is she?
She's in Jamaica.
No, just the I-130 is fine.
Okay, thank you so much, Uncle Brad.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Let's go to Sasha in Kingston.
Hello, good night.
Good night, how are you?
I'm alright. I have 3 questions, right? First one, my husband put in his paper for his citizenship last year, February, right? He get his date and he do the test and thing. We have 2 child's mother, right? One of the child mother is hesitating for giving him. He and she having some problems, and she's hesitating for giving him the letter, the request for approval of he taking care of his child. Or can he go forward by finishing up his citizenship?
How does he pay the woman?
All right.
Does he give her
Sometimes he would.
checks?
in the early part of the baby, when the baby just born, he used to send money to her, but because she's living not far from him, he would give her by cash, or he will go and pick up it.
Then he's a dummy. Whatever you're in a situation, there's no. When you pay cash, you got to ask for a receipt, because you end up in these situations where now you have no proof that you ever paid.
Oh, yes.
I don't have an answer. How are you going to prove it? He's going to say, well, I do it. The woman doesn't want to give me the letter. They're going to say, too bad. He's got to make peace with this woman. That's what he's got to do. And in the future,
the only thing you have to do.
And in the future, pay by check, so you have proof, or get a receipt. You just can't hand cash over and think everything's okay. It's not smart. Now he's got to make peace with her. She's in the driver's seat.
Yes, because you have a limited time to send him back the paperwork.
To do your citizenship, you got to prove that you take care of your children. How is he going to do it if the woman won't sign? Yeah, usually the woman signs a letter saying, "I'm the so-and-so," let's say his name is Joe, I don't know. Joe takes care of baby Mary, and I'm very happy with his support. He's a good father. Period. 3 cents letter. That's all you need. You don't have to say how much he gives or anything else. But if she won't sign that, then you have to bring in evidence that he's paying this woman money, which is either receipts for the cash or
because it's checks. Personal right now. Because it's personal right now. Because even up to he always takes the child like sleep over and all of those things. So he feel like it was peace and safety with her, but now it's more personal.
So there's a reason why. I don't know the reason. Okay, but there's a reason why this woman's mad at him. People just don't get mad at anybody for nothing. Now, the reason why she's mad may be BS, but she's mad for something. Even whether he thinks he's right or wrong, if he wants to become a citizen, he's got to fall on his sword. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I'm going to fix it. Nothing else you can do. And get her to sign the letter.
Okay. Yeah. Next question I have to ask is, when he's sending his citizenship, he's sending an I-130 for me also, right? I only get back one letter stating that I-797C.
Right.
I'm not getting back nothing from that.
When did he file for you?
The same time. This is like a week apart.
What's the same time?
In February. My current date is March 2021.
All right. Yeah, you got to wait a little bit. If you don't get an approval by the end of the summer, call me back.
Call you back.
Yeah, everything's delayed right now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, make him a citizen. He's got to make the woman happy now to get the letter signed.
All right. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Chris in Boston. Chris.
Hey. Good evening, Brett.
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So I got my BAWA approved, and I'm in removal proceedings. And I was wondering what's going to happen at the merits.
Were you married to a citizen or a resident?
Citizen.
Okay. Well, number one, if you get your VAWA approved, they can't deport you, okay, unless you have a criminal record. So you're not getting deported. What's going to happen at the next master calendar hearing is you should come with an adjustment application, show the judge you have an approved I-360, and ask the judge to adjust your status.
I got my merits hearing coming up in June.
Okay, so in June you're getting a green card.
Like right away, or
the judge should approve your adjustment. Yeah.
Oh damn, that's good then. Oh, didn't know that. And another question, like right after getting my green card, can I go travel or does I have to wait some time or
enjoy
whatever?
Your trip.
All right, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Let's go to Maurice in Austin, Texas. Maurice.
Hello.
Hi, Maurice.
Hey. Yeah. Hello. Hey. Actually, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Thank you. Yeah, actually, my question is, I'm from Ghana, and I have my son over there. So I had him when I wasn't married. So I'm trying to file I-30 for him. So what kind of document do I need?
you had your son before you were married, you said?
I had him when I wasn't married.
When
I
you were
wasn't
not
married.
Did you ever marry the mother?
No.
Okay. So because you were never married to the mother, you have to prove two things. One, he's your biological son. So hopefully there's a birth certificate that has your name written on it at the time of his birth. Your name wasn't added years later. And number two, you have to show evidence that you had a relationship with him. Pictures together with him, if you've sent money for his support, if you're on school records, I don't know what religion, baptismal certificate. You have to show that you are the biological father and you have a relationship with this child.
Okay. So actually, he's a kid though, and I do send the money. When I send money to take care of him, I go through to my husband.
Okay. So you need a letter from him saying this money that you sent was for the child.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Good luck.
Yeah. You have a good day. Okay. Bye bye.
Let's go to Harold's in Los Angeles, California.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, bro. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, my name is Harris. Bro, I want to ask two questions. One is, I applied for VAWA, and I received my work authorization and advanced parole. I think to go to see my kids in Liberia and to decorate my mother's grave. She died in absence. My traditional court for that, to go and make some crabs and decorate her grave. But my fear is, I came in the U.S. legally with visa, but I almost skipped my visa. You think if I'm coming back, will I face any problem with the immigration officers?
If you have a pending adjustment with a VAWA and advanced parole, as long as you don't stay out for too long, 5, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, you're fine.
Okay. I got a letter for USCIS, the application is pending.
And an adjustment in a VAWA, unless you have a criminal record, you'll be allowed back in.
No, I don't have a criminal record.
Then you're fine.
So the next question is, how many years it takes for the VAWA process to be completed?
It's taken 3+ years now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Brad.
You're welcome. Let's go to Isaac in Atlanta. Isaac.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, sir. I came here 2019, October.
What's in October 2019? I didn't hear you. Speak up.
I came to Atlanta 2019.
How did you come to the United States, Isaac?
I came with my visa.
What kind of visa?
B1, B2.
And where are you from?
Nigeria.
Okay, so what is your question?
Yeah, I overstayed my visa during the COVID. I cannot go back. And I have an issue with my wife at home. I tried doing the divorce, but she frustrated it over there. I tried my possible best. So I want to know the way forward, sir.
You trying to do a divorce in Nigeria or in the United States?
No, in Nigeria.
Okay, don't do a divorce in Nigeria for two reasons.
Well, it's not possible.
It's not possible. Immigration never believes the divorces in Nigeria anyway. Do a divorce in Atlanta, Georgia. Serve your wife. Have someone serve your wife in Nigeria. Do the divorce in Atlanta. It'll take, I don't know how long Atlanta divorces take, but it shouldn't take that long.
Okay.
Find a local lawyer in Atlanta who can do your divorce.
Okay.
Then I assume you're going to get married in a bona fide marriage. And then that's what you do.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
I have a relationship now.
Yeah. Just do the divorce in Atlanta. Don't do it in Nigeria.
Okay.
All right? But I can't do your divorce in Atlanta. I'm not an Atlanta lawyer. I can do your immigration in Atlanta, but I can't do local divorces. So find a local lawyer to do your divorce.
Okay.
All right. Good luck.
Then I have to serve her in Nigeria.
I don't know how. I'm going to tell you how divorces work. Okay? You file a divorce in the courthouse. I want to be divorced from this woman in Nigeria, irreconcilable differences. The judge, this is the same divorce process in all 50 states. The judge is going to say, okay, you have to personally serve her so she knows she's getting a divorce. So if she wants to contest the divorce, she has to fly to Atlanta or New York or Texas or wherever you are to contest the divorce. Now, obviously, she's not going to do it, but she's not going to fly here to contest the divorce, but you still have to comply with the laws. So you get someone in Nigeria to walk over to her, hand her a divorce summons that says, Isaac is divorcing whatever your wife's name is for irreconcilable differences. You have X amount of days to show up in court or we're going on without you. She's not going to show up. The person who hands her the piece of paper then goes to the U.S. Embassy in Lagos, or if there's a local notary public, that's a U.S. notary, and gets an affidavit signed saying on March 9th at 6 p.m., I handed this paper to Isaac's wife. I know it's Isaac's wife because he gave me a picture of her, and this is the picture on this affidavit. It's the same woman who I handed it to. And then he mails it back to you. You bring it to the judge in Atlanta. The judge says, okay, she has notice. She never showed up to court. We'll move on without her, and she'll sign the divorce.
Yes.
That's how a divorce works.
Okay.
All right? But you need a local lawyer in Atlanta to do it.
Okay.
All right, good luck. All right. Rod in Brooklyn.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So my question is, I have applied for a VAWA, and my VAWA was approved in January, March, April, May, June, July of last year, and my 485 was filed together along with my I-360. My I-360 is approved, but I would like to know how long do I have to wait to hear back anything, or what's the next step?
Your VAWA was approved in July of 2021?
Yes.
Should take about a year to get an interview for your adjustment, so probably this summer you'll be done.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Let's go to Shireen in Tamarack, Florida.
Hi.
Shireen.
Hi, good night.
Good night. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Okay, I filed for my husband, and the co-sponsor died. The case is at NVC. What do I do? Should I wait until...
No, just submit to the NVC death certificate of the co-sponsor that he or she died and get a new co-sponsor.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's go to Junior in Phoenix. Junior.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing, bro?
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
What's going on?
Okay. I got several questions. So, I came as a refugee, and
where?
years ago.
From where?
Yeah, from Liberia.
Okay.
Yeah, I came as a refugee years ago, but my grandma that I came with, she didn't start the process of adjustment until I turned 18. So when I turned 18 at that time, I put me adjustment. I started, I guess, now having babies, and I was just working and stuff like that. So I adjust my status. I started my adjustment started process last March. Last March, I started March the 24th. This coming March will make it a year. So I did my biometric and everything, and I haven't heard anything from them yet.
When you filing for adjustments on asylum, refugees, immigration takes forever. I've seen immigration wait 3-4 years to approve these cases. What I tell my clients is, for anybody with a pending adjustment based on asylum, based on a refugee, if it's more than 18, 20 months, we should be doing mandamuses. And we've had success doing it, and you'll be fine. You're not there at that 18, 20 month mark. If you haven't heard by then, call me back, and we'll get you through.
Okay, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that, brother.
Mark in Brooklyn. Mark in Brooklyn. Mark in Brooklyn. Mark in Brooklyn. Going once, going twice. Mark in Brooklyn's gone. Let's go to Naji in Miami.
Hello.
Hi, Naji.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I have a question for you. I was married on 2009, and I got divorced in 2010. And I filed for my conditional green card, and it got denied. So I had 2 interviews, 2011, 2012, but they didn't go well. So they put me on removal proceeding, and I waited many years. And on 2019, they put me on immigration judge court. And when I went there, they disapproved my case. And so I had a girlfriend, so I got married after they disapproved my case. So I filed again for I-130, and after like 18 months or so, they got me an interview. So when I went to the interview, at the end of everything went well with my wife, and at the end they want me to sign a paper. So my lawyer assistant, she didn't want me to sign it because they think that my previous marriage was fraudulent and I have to provide more evidence. So they sent me a letter home.
Well, Najee, I lost you. You told me you got your green card. Why are they now saying that your prior marriage was fraudulent?
It was like conditional green card.
Okay, so you had a 2-year green card, and why do they believe that your marriage is fraudulent?
Because I haven't provided evidence to them.
There's a difference between them saying your marriage is fraudulent and you didn't prove that your marriage is real. Those are 2 different things.
Yeah,
do they
because
believe your marriage is a fraud, or did they just say you were not able to prove that you're in a bona fide marriage?
Yeah, they say that, I was not able to prove because my ex, when she divorced me,
so now what's your problem? You're in removal now.
Yes.
Okay, so now you have a chance to prove that it's a real marriage before the judge. You can remarry a new person if you choose. That's up to you.
That's what I did. I married, and I've been married almost 3 years now.
So now adjust your status through the new marriage.
They send me an envelope after the interview to notice of.
You have to prove that there's a big difference, Najee, between them saying you committed fraud and you saying it was a real marriage, I just don't have enough evidence to prove it was real. Those are 2 different things. Unless they have evidence that it's fraud, they just can't deny the second marriage. So I think at this point, I'm not going to solve your problem on this show. I don't know what you're submitting and what documents, but you need a consultation. Hold on. Let's go back to Mark in Brooklyn. Mark.
Hi, Brad.
Hi,
good night. I'm good. I got married to my wife 4 years ago, and I put in for her in 2019. And I'm still waiting on. I got a response and stuff like that. We're just waiting for a date to go into the embassy. I would like to know why they're taking so long. I guess because of COVID.
Budget cuts, Donald Trump, combination of the 3. When was your case sent to the U.S. Embassy?
2019, June 2019.
It was sent to the U.S. Embassy in June of 2019?
No, it wasn't sent.
Is that when you filed for your wife?
That's when I filed for my wife,
When was all of your documents sent from the National Visa Center to the U.S. Embassy?
I guess the year after. They didn't really mention it.
I don't know. I can't guess if you can guess.
So basically, Brad, this is what happens. From 2020, let's say from 2020 August, they sent us an email just saying 60 days you'll get a response from the embassy, and then next month 60 days.
Mark,
yes.
Where's your wife?
In Guyana right now.
When were your papers sent to Guyana?
I'm not. It didn't state.
All right.
When.
So I don't have an answer. I don't know what's going on. Okay. I don't know if you've been waiting 2 years that your papers were there, or
2 years. Yes.
Okay. Well, then you need help at this point. Why? I don't know. I got to call them. Hold on. All right, but you don't have enough information for me to help you. Hold on. Let's go to Kingsley in Silver Springs, Maryland. Kingsley.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm fine, sir. Sir, I have a question. I was granted asylum, so I filed for I-730 for my family back home. So about 6 months, UCIS sent me a letter, told me they transfer my document to the next office. So they told me the office go get the restriction for my document. So this 9 months today, I don't know what I can do, and my children are sick back home in my country.
What was it that you filed?
Sorry, sir?
What was it that you filed?
I-730.
For your family, because you already got your approved asylum?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And who's sick back home?
My children and my wife.
Okay. So you need to, show that, request an expedite. If they still refuse to expedite it, then you do a mandamus.
Yeah, this is 9 months today, sir. So can I do it now?
Did you request an expedite?
Not yet, sir.
Request an expedite first, see what they say, and if it's denied, then a mandamus. Hold on,
Okay,
we'll
sir.
help you.
Okay, thank you.
Boris in Baltimore.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Boris.
Sir, I have a quick question. I want to ask if I crossed the U.S. border, like I came to the U.S. without inspection, and when I get into the America, the border patrol got me,
Where you
and I
from?
was later, come on, sir.
Okay.
And I was later released out on parole. And I want to know if I go to my immigration case, would that be used on me? Like I got into the U.S. without inspection?
If you were paroled into the United States of America, you can adjust your status.
No, sir, that's not the case. I want to know if I go for my asylum case, because I have a pending asylum case. I don't know when I will get to the judge would they use it on me saying I got into the U.S. without inspection?
No, they will not affect your asylum case.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you could always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. Drop me a DM. I'll be happy to answer your questions as best as I can. You could also follow us, all of us, at Brad Show Live. You can't handle 2 hours of Brad Show Live, but you can handle 30 seconds. Follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. And of course, follow us on TikTok. It's our fastest growing social media platform. You can leave your comment or question. I may respond to it in a personalized video to you for the entire world to see.
And you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And later in the show, I'm going to speak with Jessa Crispin and Nicolas Rodriguez, who met on Tinder, married 2 weeks later, and then she filed for his adjustment. We're going to talk about their relationship, navigating the U.S. immigration system, and everything about their marriage.
Okay, and now Vanessa Nilsson, Mexican-American founder and CEO of Soul Book Box and Bilinguify, tells us what she wants to see change in the U.S. immigration reform. Now, everybody out there, what would you guys like to see? Let us know in the comments.
What is the #1 change you want to see in U.S. immigration reform?
I think for sure a very important one is to find a path to citizenship for the people that are already here and that have been here for years or for their whole lives in some cases, you know, the dreamers, the people who were brought here as children or infants. I think that's very important. And I also think it would be great to find a way to make immigration coming from Mexico. I saw it just seems very luck of the draw, like whether you are able to migrate to the United States or not. It doesn't seem like there's really any rhyme or reason to it. It seems very arbitrary.
In a way, unfortunately, there's no legitimate, real, legal way to immigrate to America from Mexico. You say, you know what, I want to immigrate to America. There is no way.
Right.
Unless you're going to get sponsored by a family member or be lucky enough to be sponsored in a job. There's always amnesty. Yeah, so it needs a lot of reform.
All right, social media check-in. Let's do it.
Akif Avarani, a Facebook VIP member. My female friend is a widow and has a kid. Can her parents who have a green card sponsor them on F2B visa category?
Your
the parents can file for an unmarried son or daughter plus his or her children.
Annalie Parker, Facebook VIP member. I'm 21, turning 22 soon. I'm in the U.S. and on an F1 student visa, and I'm currently doing my OPT, which ends July of this year. My boyfriend, who's a U.S. citizen, and he's a U.S. born citizen, wants us to get married so he can file for me. However, my mom just got her green card and wants to file for me. Out of the boyfriend or mother filing for me, which application?
Boyfriend's faster.
All right, Brave Girl on YouTube. I got my 10-year green card last year through VAWA. My 20-year-old son is in America on vacation now. How can I get him a green card while he's here in America?
If he's in legal status and he's been here for more than 90 days but less than 180 days, and he's under 21, you file an adjustment. You have that 90-day window, and you can file the adjustment for him.
Anna Gay Biggs on YouTube. I have a friend that got a J1 visa with barriers for 2 years. Will he have to go back to his country to file his paperwork, or can he get the waivers here and file for the green card?
How do you come?
J1 visa with barriers of 2 years.
You can get the waiver here and then adjust here.
Hope Floats on Facebook. My mother overstayed her time in our home country because of medical reasons and COVID-19. She has a valid green card, but we didn't seek legal authority for her to overstay before she left.
She should go to the U.S. Embassy, apply for an SB1 visa, show that she had COVID and she was sick, and that she has still ties to the United States, including her children, and they should give her a visa to return.
Anu Chandra on YouTube. I have EAD category C30 and it does not have any visa, maybe a kind of deferred action, not sure. I'm on the second extension for EAD and VAWA files. Is it called overstay?
It's C31 would be the VAWA work permit if that is what, if your VAWA application was approved. What is C30? EAD is, let's see what C30 is, I don't remember. C30 is, where's C? Oh boy, I just had it and I lost it. Where's C? All right, let me go to a different website. Oh, I'm sorry, Yo-Yo.
It's all good.
Everything. C31 is VAWA approval. What is C30? EAD. I don't remember all of the different codes. So let's see. Let's see what C30 is. There is no C30. That's why I don't know what it is.
Oh.
All right. So I guess she's talking about C31. So now read it again. So I was trying to figure out what C30 was.
So C30 is not abused spouse of an H.
C31.
Okay. I just put in. I don't know. Well.
All right. I just looked it up on USCIS. They didn't have anything for C30. C31.
Okay. But it says C30. So.
Okay.
But so it says I have a EAD category C30 and it does not have any visa, maybe a kind of deferred action, not sure. On the second extension of the EAD and VAWA files.
You wouldn't have a visa on an employment authorization document. It's C31. It means your VAWA was approved. You need to file an adjustment application now. That's my answer.
Okay, and Nova on Facebook. Does someone who had an e-green card for over 30 years and wants to apply for citizenship need to replace the green card before applying?
No, just apply.
Blessing Nini on YouTube. Can someone apply for asylum after 5 years and what are their chances?
Low, because you have to apply within 1 year of entry. The only way you could apply after 1 year is if you have changed country conditions. That when you came here, you were okay to go home, but something now has happened and something completely changed, and that's why you need to apply for asylum now.
Elizabeth Darby on YouTube. January 19th of this year, I got my interview date, but in January, my husband and I caught COVID. We called and rescheduled. Do you believe I will get an earlier date?
I don't know when you're going to get a date, but you will get another date.
And last one, Tostin Taiwo on YouTube. I filed for VAWA September 2020, got 3 prima facies, but haven't gotten my work permit. I filed to expedite, but got denied.
You need to file your adjustment to get your work permit. You don't get your work permit by just filing a VAWA until the VAWA is approved, which takes 3 years. Which is why I tell everybody when you file a VAWA, do an adjustment too, and then you get a work permit under C9.
All right.
How's that?
Great.
Now, Jessa Crispin and Nicolas Rodriguez met on Tinder, and in a whirlwind romance, they married 2 weeks after they first met. Nicolas is from Colombia, Jessa is American, and I spoke with them about their relationship and navigating the United States immigration system. Let's watch. Jessa Crispin is the founder and editor of the magazines Bookslut.com and SpoilerMag.com. She's the author of the Dead Ladies Project, The Creative Tara, and Why I'm Not a Feminist Manifesto. Jessa recently wrote a New York Times opinion piece entitled, Marrying Him Was Political, Sponsoring His Visa is for Love, and about a whirlwind romance and marriage to Nicolas Rodriguez, who is from Colombia and now the assistant director of the Community Arts Project from the Maryland Institute College of Arts. Jessa and Nicolas are with me today to discuss their relationship, their whirlwind romance, and their experience navigating the American immigration system. Welcome, Jessa. Welcome, Nicolas. How did you guys meet?
On Tinder, horrifyingly enough.
Now, are you on Tinder often, Jessa?
No, but I travel a lot for work.
Uh-huh.
And so it can be hard to find somebody to spend an evening with. So when I'm traveling, sometimes I get weak and download Tinder.
You didn't even meet him in the city where you live. You were traveling in Chicago, I think, right?
Yeah, I was living in Kansas City.
And you were living in Kansas City at the time. And Nicolas, you were living in Chicago as well?
Yes. I was in Chicago doing grad school.
And I believe you super swiped her. Is that the story I'm hearing, right?
That's what happened, you know.
Who said hello first here?
He did.
He did. And what'd you say? Hi, I'm Nicolas.
So the first thing I wrote was something like, I'm a fan.
Wow. That got your attention, right?
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of fans Tindering you?
No.
No.
And I'm a little horrified that worked. That's about and my ego.
How did you know about Jessa? You followed her writing?
Yes, her book, Feminist Manifesto.
So when you saw her on Tinder, did you know right away this is Jessa, the author that you're so familiar with?
Well, I had to double check.
Where'd you go on your first date?
Cocktails.
Cocktails. And you hit it off right away or no?
No.
No.
He wouldn't look at me. He wouldn't make eye contact. He would only look at, right directly in front of him at the bar.
In my defense, I was super intimidated. Honestly, I thought it was a scam. I thought I was going to jump into a bar and there's going to be like a Joe there.
Right.
Fiesta.
You loosened up a little bit and then your real personalities came out and you kind of started to like each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you said, okay, you went out. The second date was when? 12 hours later? 15 hours later?
Yeah.
Literally.
The next night.
The next night.
Yeah.
The next night.
He came to my birthday party.
Really? You invited him to your birthday party, so then you really liked him then?
Yeah.
You bring a gift, or you're like, I only know her 24 hours?
I actually brought a gift.
You did?
And the biggest bottle of wine I've ever seen.
But after 10 days, Nicolas, you proposed to Jessa after knowing her only 10 days. Did everyone say, Nicolas, are you crazy? What are you doing? And then Jessa, did everyone say, you said yes? What, are you crazy?
Yeah, there was some of that.
Some of that? So what was going through your mind, Nicolas? Are you that much of a romantic that you just throw caution to the wind and say, let's go for it?
To the added fact that I was already familiar with her ideas, an aspect of her. After we met in Chicago, the next week I went to Kansas City. Instead of trying to kind of impress the other, we were super honest about everything, our situation, our ideas, our values, our political views, everything. And that feeling kind of roamed us both to the point that I asked if she wanted to marry me, and she said,
I understand from your perspective, Nicolas. I get it. You read a lot of what she wrote, so you had a fuller understanding of the human being who she is, because she writes from her soul. She's not writing things that are peripheral to the world, but she's writing about things that are important to her and things that she believes. So you understood her. But Jessa, Nicolas isn't a writer. What was going through your mind when you said yes?
It just made me feel calm for him to ask.
Uh-huh.
I just felt really sure. And part of it was the weekend.
Right.
Of being very upfront with each other about everything. He had told me about his immigration situation on the first date.
So you knew what you were getting into.
Yeah, and there was just a lot of honesty and sincerity.
So,
and it made sense.
So how did he propose?
So we're big fans of dive bars. So, do you remember the name of
At Charlie's.
Charlie's? Yeah. We're having a couple of drinks, and there was a couple of potato chips. At the beginning, I wanted to ask the question at the end of the night, after a lot of drinks. But then I thought to myself, if I ask this question after a lot of drinks, she's gonna think that I'm just drunk.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. So you wanted to do it when you were sober still.
Yeah.
Right.
So with the first drink, I was like, "Would you marry me?"
So that's 10 days into your relationship. You guys met over the summer, right, of 2018. Yeah. When did you guys get married? How long was the engagement to the marriage?
4 days.
4 days. So now you're 14 days into your relationship. You met on Tinder. By the way, does Tinder know about this? This is like the best advertisement for Tinder ever. 14 days into this, and now you guys are married. And did you move in right away together? Did you discuss where you're going to move, where life's taking you?
Yeah, it was disruptive for both of us. I was about a month away from moving to Berlin. And so that didn't exactly happen. And then he got a job offer in a completely different city where either one of us was living, which is Baltimore. So we decided to stay there together.
I guess as a writer, you can live anywhere, I guess. Was that the thinking? And he has his job now at the Maryland Institute College of Arts. So at least he has a physical place he has to go, but you could be basically anywhere. What was the opportunity in Berlin that you gave up?
I'm collaborating with a friend of mine on a series about opera. Plus, just I used to live in Berlin. It's someplace I feel very comfortable. It's difficult not being there, but I go when I can.
Nicholas, you're originally from Colombia. When did you come to the United States, and why did you come to the United States?
So I moved to the States in 2016, basically for grad school. I was doing a master's in arts administration. I graduated in May of this year. I applied for my OPT because I was interested, in exploring a little bit more of the realm. But at the point, staying in the U.S. wasn't a priority. I just wanted to do my OPT. And then I met Jessa, and then plans changed.
So how did your families react to this? Did they support you? Did your friends support you? Did you have a big wedding? Did people come to watch you get married?
Some people came. It's not where I was living, so I only had a couple friends there. But his friends came out, and his family, they couldn't come. It's very short notice. But his family has been very supportive.
Do you have any misgivings about getting married after meeting 14 days? Because you've now been married about 6-8 months now, I guess, right? Do you look back and you say, wow, that was too fast, or everything worked out perfect so far?
I think it's working out. I wouldn't use the word
perfect. Obviously, you realize that Nicholas had an immigration issue when you got married. You just literally filed your adjustment application recently, I understand. But how has the process been to you so far? Has it been daunting? Has it been easy? Has it been perplexing, frustrating? What would you describe it as?
I think it's been stressful for both of us and confusing. I had moved to Germany in the past, and that's a very straightforward bureaucratic experience. With America, it's much more arbitrary, it seems.
If there wasn't a lawyer involved, I don't know.
You'd still be waiting around to file something.
Yeah.
Jessa, you wrote a piece in the New York Times that has been well received. I saw it was on the front page on the New York Times web edition, titled "Marrying Him Was Political, Sponsoring His Visa is for Love." And that's kind of a juxtaposition on what normally people would say is marrying him was for love, sponsoring him was political. Tell me, and I loved what you wrote, and I actually even sent it to everybody in the firm. Tell us what you mean by marrying him was political, sponsoring him for his visa was for love. Tell the viewers out there a little bit about what you wrote and what you were trying to convey.
I think marriage is much more political than we like to think about, because it is essentially a contract with the state. It's a contract between the two of us, obviously. We file it with the government, and certain rights are passed through marriage.
But sponsoring him because you wanted to make his life better was obviously where the love is. I know you talked about it being easier in Germany than here, but has there been anything that's been surprising to you in the process so far?
Oof, there's. I would say that it's been surprising how things have been changing in such a period of time. You know, like every month or so, there was like an additional piece of paperwork that was required, things like that. So that's definitely was a surprise that it's something that's ever changing. It's been rigorous.
How has your piece been received, by the way?
I got a lot of responses from people who've been through this experience and who felt like they couldn't talk to anybody about what was going on, particularly because they felt like they had to perform the perfect relationship to the government.
I guess it's an adventure for you, all right? Because, I mean, you guys just basically, you say, we're going to hold hands, we're going to kiss, and we're going to jump off the cliff, basically, right? Plan on writing more about this, or you want to stay away from this about your personal life and write about other things? We'll see. Tell us about your American dreams, if you've achieved it, what you want to achieve, what you'd like to see for yourself, what you'd like to see for America.
The dream is just having the opportunity. It wasn't my intention when I came to the U.S. Then I met Jessa, and then I got the opportunity to have this job. And now I see myself here. I see myself developing my work with community engaged practices here in the U.S. So the dream is only to have a fair shot at it.
I just want to write my books.
That's your dream. That's it. Just write.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Where can people find out more about your writing? Where can people see this article?
I'm at jessacrispin.com.
All right. Well, thank you both for coming on. I really appreciate it. We wish you all the best of luck. You got to study up a little bit on your Stokes interview. And it's not really study. You just got to really think about what does everything look like in the home? What are they going to ask me? And don't try to overthink it. We're going to ask you to come back and play a little game with us. We call it the bratified marriage. I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to write on a piece of paper. And it's going to be like a Stokes interview and see, and how well you're going to do and how well you're prepared. And, by all accounts, you guys are in a real loving marriage and live together. I'm sure you'll do really wonderful. And by the way, tomorrow we're going to see the second part of Jess and Nicholas. They're going to play bratified marriage and see how well they're going to do on their Stokes interview.
Absolutely. And before we go into speed round, I do want to say, because remember I said I'm going to be looking in the comments to see what changes you guys would like to see in immigration reform. And I see It's Apple Pie says cut the age out process. And Nikki Forever Blessed saying time frame too long for your siblings. Which I agree.
Yeah, and also talking about love, Jonathan, I see on YouTube, Danny Boy 954 is still looking for the caller from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, whoa.
I remember he liked that first caller. I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
So if that first caller, that Danny Boy, you want to reach out to him on YouTube? Maybe we'll have the two of you on.
Never know.
For a bratified marriage next, right?
Yeah.
You never know.
That would be awesome.
Danny Boy 954, the caller from 2 weeks ago,
Listen,
bratified marriage.
There's nobody in the world I want more to hook up than Danny Boy.
All right, let's do speed round. All right, we've upped our game. It's now 10 questions in 50 seconds. Ian, put 50 seconds on the clock, please. Jill, countdown, yo-yo. Let's do it.
Does taking a cruise to Bahamas and Hawaii need passport stamping when coming back?
Bahamas, yes. Hawaii, no.
Can my job give me citizenship although I'm on DACA?
No.
Can I file for VAWA while my I-45 is pending?
Yes.
How can I check the processing time for I-130 for NVC?
Go online, USCIS.
Can a permanent resident file for his mom in Jamaica who has her H-1B?
No.
Can we travel to the U.S. without being vaccinated?
No.
Can I file for employee sponsorship on pending asylum?
Yes.
Can you be deported, change your name, and re-enter the States under a different name?
No, of course not.
At what age can a U.S. citizen child petition for his parents?
21.
Can I apply for a visiting visa after my I-130 case got revoked?
You can, but they'll probably deny you. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boom, boom, boom.
That right
I
there.
like that, right?
Right. Even
And
with a
those
little.
are all sound answers.
Right. Even,
And because there was one question for DACA
Yes.
that said, can I file? Can my
Can my
employer
job
file for
give me-
citizenship? No, your job doesn't give you citizenship. Your job is funding for me, but I was answering it exactly as it is.
I felt like I was like an auction
Yes.
guy. Like,
Yeah. Go on, let's go, guys.
I don't even think I
I hear 4
understood
million. I hear 4 million over here. I hear 5 million over here. 10 million to the fool who bought the banana on the wall.
Right.
The banana, or 12 million to the fool who bought the nothing.
Yeah, the
Remember that
nothing.
one? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's do comments of the day.
All right, our first comment of the day. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, saying, why listen to a news channel? We have our own news right here on Brad Show Live. We're so informed and educated. It's wonderful.
Right. And plus, I'm not just reading the news.
You break it down.
I'm breaking it down, explaining it.
You break it down, for sure, for sure. All right, second comment of the day. Grandma Marge Higgs saying, I want to be a part of the Brad team. Where do I send my resume?
Marge Hicks looking for a job. Send it to Jill.
Come on over.
Yeah.
And our third comment of the day. Carol Burrell saying, y'all cracking me up this hump day. Yeah, a lot of people were laughing at the hump day stories.
It was a funny hump day, right?
Yes, yes.
All right.
And our last comment of the day. Teresa Smith saying, squad up guys, happy Wednesday, great team. You're so well appreciated by us. We stand by each weekday for what tremendous topics and updates you have for us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all your nice comments. We're going to see you all tomorrow for Wacky World Thursday. Have a great night. So Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465.